Hello, here with a quick overview of 84,000 search functions in the Translator tools. Hopefully you've had a chance to log in and take a look around, and you probably noticed that we have three search functions: the reading room search, cumulative glossary, and translation memory search. So these all take different approaches to searching and gives you a lot of flexibility in looking for what you need to find. So let's get started with the reading room search. I can see it's a pretty basic display here. This will search all the reading room texts, everything from the introduction to the bibliography, glossary, etc., even the lobby. So you'll be able to search through text titles of untranslated texts, and some of those have notes in them. So I have an example here, a work in progress, Shila Samyukta Sutra, and something that I'd like to look up more information about is the Jeddah Grove. So I have a pretty typical setting here, but I'm not sure how I want to translate it exactly. So maybe I want to get some ideas. Jeddah Grove. So you can see here I have a verse here, some glossary. This arrow will show you a little more. This is all from the Play in Full. Some translation. Here we have a little bit of information from the glossary entry, so I would just take a look around here and see what I can learn. So you have links here. The title will take you to the reading room text, the title page, but if you want to go to a particular spot, you can click this read. Another thing you might look up text titles, maybe a term that an example here is I have this translation, life force, and I think I feel really insecure about that translation. What happens if I type it in here? Did anyone else ever use this for talk? And okay, yeah, I see a few. I see sometimes it's hyphenated, sometimes it's not. So this is just kind of how I would use this a little bit. Let's jump over to the cumulative glossary. This has been compiled from the glossaries of all the texts that have been published. So you can see it. We open it up and we have just the alphabetical list going from. Here we have selected places and translation. We can also look through terms, persons, places, text. This is the manual way of searching. So translation, whether that's English, Sanskrit, Tibetan, however it appears in the translation, or the Sanskrit from the glossary, or the Wiley from the glossary. And we have a way to scroll through the alphabet here. Just opening this one, Akanishta, you can get kind of an idea. So you might want to use this search if it seems like you have a term you're interested in that might be in the glossary. And then you have the convenience of having all these texts grouped together in kind of a nice display, and have some definitions. If I want to go to my Jeddah Grove again, I'm in the right place. And something helpful here with doing the manual search is that you see all these different options in a row. Like, oh, I might not have thought of Jeddah Wood. Where's that? The Sutra of the Inquiry of Jayamati. So, and I also can see here some ideas, some definitions to help me out. Jetavana. And you can also, let's say we just want to use a search. One way you might want to use the glossary is if you have a Sanskrit term, like I have my text here, I want to know about Shila, and I don't have to worry about diacritics too much. So I get a lot of permutations of Shila here, which might be helpful if I'm trying to learn a little bit about it. If some matches. Again, these links will take you to the particular spot, the glossary in the reading room. So I see a lot of different translations here, so it gives me a lot to think about. Let's jump over to the translation memory search. So say I want to know about a term. I don't think it's in the glossary, or maybe it's a whole long, chunk of Tibetan, and it's probably not in the glossary. You can come here. This is the translation memory search. We've been working on compiling translation memories, which are chunks of Tibetan paired up with chunks of translation. We don't have all the sutras done, or all the published texts done, but it's still pretty useful and it's been built up pretty well. There are some bugs too, and some things aren't matched perfectly, but especially for smaller strings, it's really good. So you can either just enter into the search field here, or you can do like I did. I brought up my Shila Samyukta Sutra by volume number in the Dege Kangir and folio number. And this is really handy if you're going to work on a text for a while, because you can just select some text here and show up there. So a good example here, which is going to have a lot of entries, is our DK Dagi Tuba. So, and I get this really nice display with different translations on what text they translated and who translated them. And so this is I've heard on a certain occasion, this did I hear at one time. So hopefully that gives you a good overview of our search functions. If you have any questions, please feel free to be in touch. We love to hear from you. And good luck with your translations. Bye.